Welcome back, Zwifters, and pack your passports because this week we're heading back across the pond to London for race 3 on the London Loop Reverse. That's right, you get to ride through rain, cobbles and chaos. But this time it's a scratch race, so no sprint points, no comm bonuses, no math. Just raw survival and who crosses the line first. A and B races will take on 3 laps and C and D will complete 2. And by the end, your legs will feel like they're about to fall off if they haven't already. I'm trying out a new kind of recon video format this week, and I want you to tell me in the comments if you like it or not. So make sure you keep watching. As always, I'll break down the course, look at bike choices and workout suggestions. So let's get into it. This is your round 2 race 3 recon. Welcome to Recon 2.0. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, I'm approaching this video a bit differently this week. I want to give you more value, more information, and more opportunities to do the best you can. And I'm starting by not wasting your time with a turn-by-turn description of the course. But don't press stop just yet. Instead, I'm going to break the course up into 5 sections along with video replay and discuss how you could approach each section, including power, pacing and cadence tips. I'm also going to talk tactics by rider type. So if you're a climber, a diesel or a sprinter, I've got something for you. And we'll discuss fatigue during the race, and I'll give you some real world tips you can use to help minimize or overcome that to win your race. Course overview and breakdown. Route, London Loop Reverse. Format, scratch race. First across the line wins. A and B categories, 3 laps, 41 kilometers and 692 meters of elevation. C and D categories, 2 laps, 30 kilometers and 461 meters of elevation. PowerUps, Feather and the Anvil. This route is a classic, a flat start through London before a quick trip into the countryside. And just when you start thinking, hey, this isn't too bad, Fox Hill shows up and reminds you that happiness is temporary. Section 1, the lead-in, 0 to 3 kilometers. Flat, frantic and full of nervous energy. It's the classic ZRL opener, straight across the Tower Bridge before turning hard right into the underground station. Descend the escalator, head on through the tunnel and out to Surrey Hills. The road is wide and smooth, but the pack will surge and stretch as riders jostle for positions like commuters fighting for the last seat on the tube as you begin to wind your way up to the start line of the Fox Hill climb. With only 2.7 kilometers of road before the climbing starts, it's going to be on for young and old. The lead-in isn't about speed, it's about pacing and position. You're setting yourself up for the first climb. The first climb decides who doesn't make it, not who wins. All riders should look to position themselves in the first third of the bunch and use the draft to your advantage. You'll want to sit in the tempo zone, so target 80 to 85% of your FTP. If you need to surge briefly, do so, but only when gaps open or corners string the group out. And try to keep your cadence high, 90 to 100 RPM, to stay loose and ready for the first incline. Resist the urge to chase early breakaways. They're as short-lived as a British summer. Section 2, the Fox Hill climb, 3 kilometers to 5.5. The first real test and the place where optimism goes to die. Fox Hill might not be long by Alpine standards, but at 2.4 kilometers and averaging nearly 5% with ramps up to 10, it feels relentless. This climb shapes the race every lap. By the second ascent, it's a sorting machine. By the last, it's a battlefield. Riders who misjudge their pacing early on often explode halfway up and spend the rest of their race filling out their excuse book. I'll define this particular section by category. A and B. Climb 1. Ride steady near threshold, 95 to 100% FTP. Don't chase every attack. Hold position. Climb 2. Slightly above threshold, 100 to 105% FTP, to hang when the front group splits. And climb 3, go all in. If you've got a match left, strike it now. C and D categories. Climb 1, smooth and steady, 90 to 100% FTP. Focus on efficiency. Climb 2, empty the tank, 110 to 130% and above to stay in contention or to make your move. For all riders, Use your seated power until the last 500 meters of the climb, then stand to crest with momentum. Keep pedaling over the top. If you let up and coast, the group behind will swallow you faster than a free pint at closing time. Or worse, you'll be dropped and all that effort will be wasted. Section 3. Box Hill Descent, 5.5 to 9 kilometers. Averaging -5%, the descent gives your legs a breather, but demands focus. It's where smart riders will regain ground and where careless ones vanish off the back. After crossing the banner, there is a short flat section before the descent starts. But once it does, it will take around 3 minutes to get down before you reach that left-hander. Speed is your friend, brakes are not. Heavier riders, use your weight and engine to push the front. Lighter riders stay in the draft and let the others tow you along. Lighter climbers need to pedal steadily to avoid losing the wheel here. If you've got teammates, regroup, it's your best chance before the next lap. Try to sit in around zone 1, 50 to 65% FTP to recover, but don't completely shut down. Keep your cadence high, 80 to 90 RPM by soft pedaling, which helps keep the blood flowing. If you're in the front group, try and position yourself towards the back, but be mindful that small gaps can become large ones quickly. Shift early as the road begins to flatten after that left-hand turn and be ready to re-engage the power smoothly. Section 4. The return, 9 kilometers to 14.5 kilometers. The rolling countryside returns to urban undulation. With fast transitions and deceptive effort, this section looks flat on paper, but it never truly settles. It's a rhythm breaker filled with small rises that test anyone who's already flirting with threshold. This is where strong, steady riders shine. Good positioning will benefit you as the pace stabilizes. But hesitation here can create dangerous gaps. If a small bunch gets away at this stage, it often sticks until the next climb or the finish. Keep your effort around 85 to 95% FTP if you can, at a steady tempo. Remember to control your breathing. Surge briefly if you must to hold a wheel, then immediately settle back into rhythm. Your cadence should be around 90 RPM or above to maintain aerobic efficiency. If it's not the final lap, ride smart and save energy. If it is, now's the time to stomp the pedals. Because if you're in pain, so should everyone else be too. Keep an eye on the mini-map. Late attackers, diesels and sprinters often launch here in an attempt to catch out other tired riders. Section 5. The finish, the final kilometer. After your final descent into London, the race finishes on a long, fast and merciless flat stretch with a 3% downhill at the very end. There's no hiding here. If you've survived the climbs and kept your wits, this is your shot. It's a drag race through the city. The group will be small, the legs will be cooked, and the winner will be the one who times their sprint perfectly, not the one that goes first. Expect 120 to 150% FTP and greater for that final kilometer if you've got it. Keep your cadence high, 90 to 100 RPM and above so you can jump when the sprint calls. Look to position yourself in the top 5 or 10 of your group before that final kilometer. Once the sprint starts, it's a full drag to the line, no second chances. Avoid the trap of going too early on the long straight. Use the anvil if you've still got it and launch at 250 meters, full gas to the finish. Tactics by rider type. Okay, as I mentioned, I want to give you as much useful information as I can in my recons, which is why we're going to look at individual rider types. Climbers. If you had a natural habitat, this would be yours. The London Loop Reverse rewards riders who can grind out repeatable threshold efforts, short climbs that bite but don't quite break you. Your goal isn't to show off how fast you can climb once, it's to keep climbing strong while everyone else breaks. The climbs. Stay calm and measured early. You're not winning this race the first time up. You're deciding who won't make it at the end. Sit in the draft, keep your power steady around threshold and save your accelerations for the top third of the climb when the elastic starts to stretch. Descents. Treat the descents as extensions of your attack, not a rest. Keep pedaling lightly to hold speed, shift early before the gradient flattens and stay tucked in the draft. The first 30 seconds after cresting Fox Hill are gold. That's where gaps turn from seconds into separation. If you can carry speed into the downhill, you can make it stick, maybe all the way to the finish. The flats. Use the flattest sections as recovery zones, not cruise control. Stay smooth and resist the temptation to chase every move. If small gaps form, contribute short controlled pulls to maintain tempo if you must, without burning matches. Remember, the climb is your equalizer. You don't need to win the flats, you just need to survive them efficiently. The final lap. When you hit the last climb, commit, but commit smartly. Ride within yourself until the halfway point, then turn the power up gradually until the top. While everyone around you will be cracking, your job is to stay composed. Time your final push for the top third of the climb and then drive hard over the crest. If you can open up even a few seconds here, you can turn it into a race-winning gap on the descent and the flat run in. This is your terrain, make it count. Diesels. You're the engine room, not flashy, but decisive. This course can be surprisingly kind to strong, steady riders who know how to control their effort and stay composed when the road tilts up. You won't dance up the climbs, but you can grind out a pace that forces others into the red, the climbs. Ride them at 95 to 100% FTP. Let the climbers float off by a few seconds if they must. You'll claw it back once the gradient softens into the downhill. The descents. Treat them as recovery zones and your chance to close gaps. Aero tuck if you can, keep pedaling lightly and rejoin groups. The flats. This is your time to shine. Set tempo, stabilize your pace, and discourage attacks. Find a rhythm that puts the climbers under pressure. Don't allow them to simply sit in and recover. That's like giving them an extra chance to win. The final lap. As fatigue sets in, trust your diesel power. Keep your tempo high and others will fade. Don't chase attacks immediately. Instead, reel them in methodically. If you crest the final climb with the leaders, stay seated and use your sustained power to roll past riders who have burnt all their matches. Your win won't come from a sprint, it'll come from refusing to slow down. Sprinters, welcome to survival mode. London Loop Reverse is not your playground, it's your performance review. But make no mistake, if you can enjoy the climbs and hold on to the front pack, the final kilometers are yours for the taking. The climb. Enter each climb in top 5 or 10 wheels. You'll slide backward as the gradient bites, but this gives you some buffer space before gaps open up. Focus on momentum and cadence rather than matching lighter riders watt for watt. Grind smart, crest strong, and hammer the descent immediately. The descent. Like the diesels, treat them as your chance to recover. Remember to keep spinning the legs on the way down and use that time to close gaps. The flats. Recover in the draft. You can't afford to be the one closing every micro gap. That's how sprinters die slow deaths. The final lap. If you make it over Fox Hill with the leaders, you have a shot. The flat finish through London is long enough for a proper sprint. The climbers will be too gassed to contest cleanly, and the diesels will be too focused on engineering gaps towards the end. Think like a cat in a dog park. Stay alert, conserve energy, and strike only when it matters. If you reach the final kilometer in touch with the front, chaos will do the rest. In short, climbers win by attrition and timing. Diesels win by discipline and pacing. Sprinters win by refusing to die. Fatigue points. Okay, we're going to get into the real gold of this video, so make sure you listen up or at least download the race notes using the link in the description below. The final 1,000 meters of the Fox Hill climb, lactic acid. What's happening? By this point, you've been sitting at or above threshold for several minutes. Blood lactate is high, breathing is ragged, and most riders are panicking to hang on. This is where riders over-rev their engine. They surge above their sustainable zone, detonate, and then spiral into a slow death. How to negate it? Ride the first half of Fox Hill at a controlled threshold, 95 to 110 FTP, and build through the final kilometer. Instead of trying to hold an early surge, negative split the climb. Focus on cadence efficiency. Keep it smooth around 85 to 95 RPM rather than mashing the pedals at 60 to 70 RPM. Higher cadence delays muscle fatigue. Training for lactate tolerance can help. Check out the workout suggestions at the end of this video. As for mentality, at the 1K mark from the top, stop thinking about survival. Think about your breathing rhythm. Smooth inhale-exhale rhythm keeps your body oxygenated when everyone else is hyperventilating. Transitioning from descent back to flat, heart rate management. What's happening? You're flying down Box Hill, your heart rate's pegged, and your legs think you're recovering until the gradient flattens and the bunch lights it up again. The sudden shift from low resistance to high torque with an already elevated heart rate can be a killer. How to negate it? Spin actively on the descent. Don't coast the whole way, and instead remember to soft pedal 60 to 70 RPM or stay in zone 1 and 2. It keeps the blood moving and prevents pooling lactate. Try and get into gear before the gradient changes. Too many riders will hit the flat in the wrong gear, stall, and have to surge at 600 watts just to stay connected. Make use of micro recoveries. During the final 30 seconds of the descent, stand, stretch, and take 3 deep breaths to help lower your heart rate before the flat hits. Look for neuromuscular transition workouts. They help to train your legs to adapt instantly from freewheeling to pressure. The final climb or lap, decision fatigue. This is where the body and mind start bargaining. What's happening? This isn't just physical fatigue, it's decision fatigue. Glycogen's nearly gone, your heart rate drift is through the roof, and your brain's whispering, maybe top 10 is fine. How to negate it? Fuel early. Season Ds. Start your second fuel intake, like a carb gel, at the end of the first lap before the second Fox Hill climb, and at the top of the climb for A's and B's. Segment the climb by breaking it up into 3 parts. 1, get to halfway. 2, hold to 500. 3, empty the tank. Doing this helps to reframe the pain into achievable targets. Practice body posture. Heard of Bike Zen? Open your chest, lower your shoulders, lift your head, and relax your grip. Training mental endurance teaches you to push when glycogen and motivation are low. Check out the workout suggestions for help with this. Summary: you don't remove fatigue, you learn to budget it. Climb smart early, recover actively on the descent, fuel before you fade, and keep technique clean when everyone else is crying. Do that and you'll finish this still racing, not just surviving. Power-ups. Okay, there are 2 power-ups in this race, the feather and the anvil. The anvil power-up will be awarded at the arch at the top of the Fox Hill climb, while feathers will be awarded at the start-finish arch before the climb. As we know, the feather weight reduces your weight by 10% for 30 seconds. Use this during the top half of the Fox Hill climb. And the anvil makes you heavier for 15 seconds, so you can descend faster. Hold your last anvil for the final 250 meters of the race for an extra kick to the finish. Bike and wheel choices. Now, I definitely received a lot of comments about bikes in my last recon video, so I'm going to pay extra special attention here. Using Zwift Insider's website, links in the description below, this is my go-to reference point. For this race, I'm taking the approach of listing the bikes and wheels with the best sweet spot between climbing and flats in my opinion. Stage 0 bikes. Number 1, the S-Works Tarmac SL8. Always. Number 2, the Cannondale Super 6 Lab 71. And number 3, the Specialized Tarmac SL8. As for fully upgraded Stage 5 bikes, number 1, the S-Works Tarmac SL8. Number 2, the Cannondale Super 6 Lab 71. And number 3, the Pinarello Dogma F24. Wheel sets. Much like the bikes, I've listed the top 3 wheel sets with the best sweet spot between climbing and flats. Number 1, the SES Envy 4.5 Pros. Number 2, the Zip 454s. And number 3, the DT Swiss 65s. If your choice is different, I'd love to hear about it. Drop me a comment and let me know what you're riding. If you've made it this far, give me a thumbs up below. Suggested workouts. In the fatigue section of this video, I referred to workouts that can help negate some of those traps. And here they are. Number 1, threshold number 1, duration 58 minutes, stress points 67. This helps with training to improve your threshold power, which is typically performed either just below or ideally just above threshold for extended periods of time. This workout helps simulate the Fox Hill efforts perfectly. Number 2, neuromuscular and AC number 3. Duration 1 hour, stress points 82. This is a challenging session that requires completing race-like intervals involving efforts of anaerobic capacity, sweet spot, and neuromuscular power. Also helpful when transitioning from descents back to flats. And number 3, tempo. Duration 1 hour and 22 minutes. Stress points 79. The goal of this workout is to spend time in zone 3 at an intensity where the use of sugar and fats as fuel are equal. Time spent in this zone increases muscle glycogen stores, which will help on the final climb and the final lap. So that's your race 3 recon for the London Loop Reverse. 3 laps for A and B, 2 for C and D. I hope my new Recon 2.0 approach has been helpful. However, as always, if you have any feedback, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear them. You can also download the full course notes from the link in the description below for the standard distance markers and gradient information that you're used to. And remember, pain isn't the enemy. It's the conversation between who you are and who you're becoming. Keep answering. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your team, because there's nothing more British than suffering together politely. See you at the start line.